What is up, guys? Fair and Unfair here.
I am fair.
And I am Unfair. And today, we're going to be sacrificing our own creatures for profit.
Some rack and some sacks.
Racking some sacks for value. It doesn't matter what we have on our field. It don't matter. We're going to sack it all to kill our opponent. It doesn't matter.
With finger guns.
Zero loyalty to our own creatures.
Who needs to be loyal?
Exactly.
Just kill everything.
Kill everything.
As long as our opponent dies.
Exactly. Doesn't matter. We have that tenacity. But we'll go ahead and get into this deck tech. Don't forget to go hang out in the comment section while you're watching this video and talk to some nerds about what your favorite deck is or why we're playing this wrong.
No need to name call.
I mean, that's what I'm here for. But let's go ahead and get into this deck tech. Alright, so the Rack Sack is primarily focused on the two-card combo of Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven. Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven being able to create a consistent blocker and damage and drainer effect. Claim the Firstborn being a way to take control of pretty much any creature that matters in the format, Uro, Hydrokrasis, etc. Swing with something, and then immediately sacrifice it for our own value. So Claim the Firstborn ends up being a 1-mana damage plus removal spell with the correct cards on the field. Scrap Heap Scrounger is a recurable threat that is also able to do a ton of damage, as well as be a sacrifice outlet. Priest of Forgotten Gods does a lot of sacrificing, being able to take somebody else's thing with Claim the Firstborn, sacrificing it in one of our own things, and making the sacrifice a creature can be a very devastating blow, and the extra mana can be really nice too. Dreadhorde Butcher being able to be a really powerful threat that just keeps on getting more powerful late game, and sacrificing it to do damage is really good as well. And then the primary reasons to be playing this deck are going to be Mayhem Devil, being able to do extra damage per sacrifice to anything, specifically doing anything instead of just to target players, so you can destroy multiple creatures or do damage to a Planeswalker. And Midnight Reaper allows you to draw cards to regain the value that you lost by sacrificing your creatures. And then Woe Strider is a really powerful creature that is a free sacrifice outlet as well as a 2-for-1 by itself by creating a Go token. Chandra as a 1-of as well, just to be an extra value engine. A ton of lands, and then for our sideboard we're playing Thoughtseizes, primarily for control. Heartless Act, Noxious Grasp, and a Braid for different types of removal. Witch's Vengeance for board wipes, primarily against goblins. Chandra Acolyte of Flame in order to outvalue our opponents that are playing super slow and just get a lot of aggro in, because her second 0 does make a sacrifice those tokens, so with the Mayhem Devil is very powerful. And then Angrath the Flame Chained is very powerful as well, being able to gain control of any creature and hit your opponents for it instead of just for 3 or less, as well as being able to make your opponent discard cards, get Hellbent as soon as possible, and just play off the top of their library, and in that situation we usually win. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into a game and hopefully win. Alright, so this hand looks fantastic. We have access to Cauldron Familiar and to Dreadhorde Butcher. This is a super aggressive hand, and Fable Passage being able to be really good if we draw our, what's it called?
Mayhem Devils.
Yeah, Mayhem Devil. Really powerful. So, like, this hand is pretty great. And then Chandra is able to kind of recuperate the tempo lost by playing 1-drop 1, you know.
Yeah, no, this hand, oh my
god. And Witch's Oven just turned this hand from a 7 into a 10, because now we have a recurable blocker as well as damage that's unstoppable.
A 5 out of 7, some might say.
Indeed.
Oh, I haven't seen this deck in a long time.
Yeah, this is... Oh, okay, so one thing to note about this deck specifically is Oven is better than Familiar. Like, you want multiple Ovens. So, we would usually want to play the Dreadhorde Butcher that turn, but since we have multiple Ovens, we can actually end up accruing more value here. We're going to assume that they're going to block here. So, oh, okay. So we're going to get a free point of damage in here. But the more Ovens you have, the better, because you're able to sacrifice your Cauldron Familiar over and over again with Ovens. Whereas if you have tons of Cauldron Familiars and only one Oven, that's only one sacrifice outlet. So it ends up being a little bit more value being able to use multiple Ovens rather than a single, or multiple cats versus one Oven.
If you're going to play this deck, I hope you enjoy clicking.
Yeah, this is definitely a very click-intensive deck. Also, if you really like finding a deck that has outs to pretty much anything, this is the deck for you. So we're going to play the Castle Lockthwain because there's no value lost there. Playing the Dreadhorde Butcher doesn't seem bad. If we attack into the Mire Triton and they block, we just get to do damage to them using the Butcher, and if they don't block, then it gets bigger.
It is worth noting that they're playing Godfarer's Gift.
That is true. Maybe the Priest of the Forgotten Gods is better, just so that way we can have an assured sack out, like if we play an extra creature.
I do think Priest is the more useful card here.
I'll agree with that, and then we just attack here, see if they decide to not block again. Like, if they don't. Like, if they block, we just sacrifice it in response, because we need the food token. But last turn, they gave us an actual free point of damage, so we'll always take that any day. And also, another thing to note is, with Cauldron Familiar, being able to block a creature that is attacking and then sacrificing in response does blank the damage as long as it doesn't have Trample. So that is a very powerful effect. They're targeting Priest of Forgotten Gods. We can't really do anything about that. We could sacrifice it to Witch's Oven, but it's better just to keep the Cauldron Familiar hype going, pretty much. If they attack here, we just get to block for free, and then sacrifice in response. Just like this. So, where they would normally be doing 2 damage to us, instead we are blanking that damage completely, and still getting our Cauldron Familiar triggers going. And another thing to note is, since it drains, it's really powerful.
Oh my goodness.
So
here we get to go Fabled Passage into Butcher and Claim.
Do you like Butcher and Claim more than Chandra here? I actually kind of like Chandra because of the fact that we can Chandra, use her plus for mana, and then claim the Skyclave. And then it'll be it'll have 5 numbers.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
And
I was thinking minus if you play the Chandra, but yeah, that's probably better.
That's another thing to note about this deck, is there are a lot of outs to this deck as well. Being able to figure out exactly what the best thing to do is usually not the most intuitive.
And you get a 2/2 off of sacrificing this?
Yep. And once again, like, that just turns this into an absolute beating, taking their creature, attacking them with it, and sacrificing it. We just get so much value out of that by itself. And now we have a Chandra on the field as well.
This was a waste of my time.
Now we don't have a Chandra on the field.
We're gonna sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar and just keep the things going.
The Drain Train.
Exactly. And Mayhem Devil
with so much better.
Yeah, Mayhem Devil with the Cauldron Familiar triggers goes from doing a couple of damage to a turn, tripling it, because you sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar to get the ability, then you sacrifice the food to put it back on the field. So instead of dealing 1 damage per loop, you deal 3. So now with 2 turns we win. We're going to attack with a 2/2 because if they block, it's literally free real estate for us. Like, if they got Pharaoh's Gift, it just doesn't really matter too much to us. We are firmly in the driver's seat at this point.
Firmly grasped. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get our value out as much as possible, dealing damage to the Skyclave Apparition to make a 4/4.
So, okay, yeah, you can just bring back his turn. So next turn you can sacrifice the cat and then a food to kill a Kiranos.
Yeah. Or we can just play the Firstborn.
And Dreadhorde Butcher.
And we have Lethal.
And the Dead.
Alright, so we just cut a couple of cards and added some Abrade so we can kill their Godfarer's Gift, but otherwise we're running the same exact game plan. Pretty easy in and out. Primarily focusing on your synergy, and this hand looks fantastic. Dreadhorde Butcher, as I said, being an absolute beater.
It's amazing.
Yeah. If we draw like a Priest of Forgotten Gods, that turns this hand from a 9 into a 10. And honestly, even Thoughtseize here, like, it doesn't do enough. We're just gonna Blood Crypt first, and now all of our buddy lands are unlocked. Our Fabled Passages are unlocked as well, since we have enough lands. And Dreadhorde Butcher being able to swing in once is the most important part. Going from a 1/1 to a 2/2 is more important than anything else with this creature. Being able to get to that 2 power, it doubles the power, right? Whereas everything else is subsequently increases by +1/+1.
So you can attack and then threaten to kill the Kanoros?
I think that's worth it. That's another thing. Like if you attack with a 2/2 Dreadhorde, you're attacking for 4 into a creature.
Then we follow up with Mayhem Devil, probably.
I agree. We need to get those sacrifice triggers online stat. We would love to draw an oven. Oven would be absolutely backbreaking against our opponents, especially since we have the Scrap Heap Scrounger to start recurring. And also, one thing to note with Mayhem Devil, as you just saw, is whenever any player sacrifices a permanent. So if your opponent plays an Uro or a Fabled Passage or anything like that, you can do damage to your opponents. Goblins has a really tough time against Mayhem Devil because they sacrifice their creatures in order to create extra mana with Skirk Prospector, etc.
Wolf Strider, probably?
Yeah, Wolf Strider is definitely the correct move. Getting a sacrifice out on the field is very important.
And then next turn you get to go Strider into Scrounger.
Yep, and to be able to optimize our mana efficiency as much as possible. That's kind of scary. What do they have in their graveyard that matters? Just Kuranos. It does have Vigilance, so that is one thing to note. They're just going to be able to attack with it for...
Just block with the goat, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it has it's Menace as well. We'll just take the 4 here.
Let's sacrifice the goat before it's set.
Yeah. We need to find ourselves in a braid ASAP. Yeah. We need to do damage to them there. I actually don't mind Midnight Reaper. Because Midnight Reaper allows us to sacrifice a Scrounger in order to start looking for that braid that we really need.
But we can't bring anything back until the Kanoros is gone.
Do we need to bring anything back right now? Oh!
The Scrounger?
Yeah. Okay, I agree. Yeah, we need to get rid of the Kuranos as well. That's actually not a terrible draw. I still think we go Wood Strider into Scrap Heap Scrounger.
Maybe you attack with the Wood Strider first and see what happens?
Yeah, because if we do that, and the Wood Strider goes down to 1, then we can sacrifice the Goat Token from the second Wood Strider to deal that 1 last point of damage to the Mayhem Devil. Or from the Mayhem Devil to the Kuranos. But unfortunately, that's not the situation, so we're just going to play out our hand here and hope it's good enough.
The good news is you can actually block with the Wood Strider. I guess that's Menace, never mind. Yeah, you can block the Wood Strider and your goat, sacrifice the goat before damage.
And then deal the last point of damage to the Kuranos there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have anything else to recur. They played Grafdigger's Cage.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I'm not super worried about that. This deck does thrive off of their graveyard, but it isn't necessary like a lot of other decks it would be.
Yeah, I think this is great.
So we block, sacrifice the goat, deal the damage to Kuranos. Familiar with Oven is actually pretty good.
No, they have a cage.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And that's why we play together instead of apart, because I would make that mistake all day long.
One of us is going to miss the cage eventually.
Yep. So the Champion of Wits is kind of scary, in that it is able to just block something and then come back with Godpharaoh's Gift.
Maybe you just pass turn?
Well, we have to play the Oven first of all.
So I think the Oven's fine to play. I think you pass turn this time and then see what you get next turn after you can activate your Priest.
I agree. At the end of their turn, I think we sacrifice the Scrap Heap Scrounger to the Wood Strider to do the damage to the Champion of Wits here. Oh, never mind, they're just attacking. Okay. I still think we're going to sacrifice the... Actually, maybe we sacrifice it to... No,
I think you would sacrifice it to Wood Strider.
Yeah, we want us to get that Scry. We want to get that 1 point of damage to kill the Champion of Wits to open up our board state, but we also want to be able to Scry and That's not going to be good enough. And we can't do anything from here. Cauldron Familiar, I mean, that's something we can sacrifice to Priest of Forgotten Gods, so we're just going to keep that going, attack with these guys. And hopefully we can just get in there fast enough before the opponent's able to do anything. They're going to get their Champion of Wits this turn, but we can sacrifice, we can activate, the second Godbearer's Gift doesn't do anything.
Yeah, they only have one creature in the graveyard.
Yeah, so we're going to activate Priest of Forgotten Gods after the Champion of Wits resolves, after it does its whole thing. Get rid of their 4/4. We get to...
They take 2, 3, 4...
Oh. They discarded to that. Okay.
I didn't think they could do it if they didn't have a target already. Huh. That's worth noting.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I still think we're gonna run it like this. They're targeting our Priest of Forgotten Gods anyway. So they're gonna lose either their wait.
No, you target them.
Yeah, we have to target them. I was just making sure that I got the numbers right.
Could have sacrificed it.
That is something I forgot about. Another point of damage would have been worth it. Midnight Reaper. Maybe we swing with Mayhem Devil here. They have no creatures in their graveyard again. Oh no, they have a Champion of Wits. They probably discarded it as well to the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we attack with the Mayhem Devil anyway? Maybe it's worth trading, like we sacrifice the Mayhem Devil. Oh no, the damage wouldn't it wouldn't work that way.
So
Yeah.
you just play the Blinker tapped.
Yeah. This is not a match that we were really expecting, but it is a match that you still need to be prepared for. Another Skycleave Apparition is pretty difficult.
Our opponent has metagamed pretty hard.
That is one thing they definitely have done. Another Witch's Oven, huh? We draw on a Braid for that Grafdigger's Cage. This Cauldron Familiar is about to start doing some insane amounts of work. Because the opponent hasn't done anything to actually gain life. They're still a 7. What did they? Oh, that's
We need to kill them here somehow.
Yeah, they gain 6 here. Oh no, they just have it dead.
Oh yeah, I gotta get haste. Never mind.
All right, so let's go to game 3. All right, so game 3, we get to be on the play, and that is all the difference when it comes to games like this. This hand is fantastic. We get to curve Dreadhorde Butcher into Midnight Reaper or Woe Strider based on what we feel like is going on based on the gameplay. But this hand is fantastic. Once again, an unblocked Dreadhorde Butcher, when it's a 1/1, is more important than any other time it's unblocked.
Correct. Getting out of the 1 toughness range is very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Because it goes from being able to kill a 2/2 to being able to kill a 4/4, which is very important. Or being able to be blocked by a 2/2 and then killing a separate 2/2. Like if you're playing against Gruul and they have a Burning Tree Emissary and a Robber of the Rich, you can block the Burning Tree, kill the Robber of the Rich, or vice versa.
So you can play Scrappy Pier, land, and then battle for 2.
Exactly.
And I think you definitely need to crack the passage this turn.
Yep.
Or this turn cycle.
One thing, the reason he was saying that is, if you noticed with this deck, Mayhem Devil is really good with Fabled Passage. So sometimes you want to be able to hold these up in order to get the value off of Mayhem Devil, which is why the deck plays 4. But otherwise, holding them to be like it's sometimes extremely worth it to be able to use it specifically to focus on getting your proper mana. So you have to be able to balance the good and the bad with that. And we're going to grab a mountain instead of a swamp because of the fact that we do play playing the Firstborn. So we're more likely to need double red than double black because most of our black spells cost more mana.
So I think you play Midnight Reaper here and attack into the apparition.
I agree. If they block, then we get to gain life. And now I play the Witch's Oven. There's a very good chance we just sacrifice the Scrap Heap Scrounger end of turn anyway. Well, now we just sacrifice whatever they target, unless they target Witch's Oven. Do we just sacrifice the Scrounger here? I don't think we do.
I don't think we do either.
Skyclave Apparition was a really cool card to be added to the format. It was something that White really needed.
So we get to take the one with a 2/2 under it?
Yeah. And play Woe Strider. We're gonna attack with everything here. Whatever they block, we don't care. Like, if they block Midnight Reaper, it trades itself. And we get a 1/1.
And they sacrifice. You sacrifice.
Yep.
You draw another card.
Oh, I should have sacrificed it before. Yeah, you're right. We don't want the Cauldron Familiar because of the fact that we don't have an oven. But now we have a pretty powerful board state that's going to be really difficult for them to deal with. They have Wrath of God. That's pretty good. So we're going to just get Woe Strider over and over again. Try to find ourselves...
I did not expect a Wrath of God.
It makes sense coming out of that deck. I mean, they don't really care about the board state until later in the game.
I guess
Maybe we leave it on top so that way we can Woe Strider and Dreadhorde.
I don't think it's worth it.
You don't think?
I think you want like a second Dreadhorde Butcher, if possible. It's almost bad.
I don't like the claim the Firstborn there. Like since like the only thing. Okay, well we get to do the thing I was talking about earlier. Then anyway. That is Mr. Fair's impersonation of a goat. Because he is the goat.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds pretty bad. All of this is inspired by Woe Strider.
What do they get off Refurbish? Just a Skyclave?
Mm-hmm.
We have 5 cards in our graveyard, so we can Woe Strider again. They target Dreadhorde Butcher. Yeah, we'll sacrifice in response. Deal 2 damage to you. We do not want that. We just go ahead and crack the goat as well.
Yeah.
Like, we need to find ourselves some action here. Technically a, not that.
Nope.
That's not it either. Maybe we just play the Woe Strider here.
Maybe.
I like that. It's a 5/4.
It's worth noting that they can exile the Woe Strider whenever they bring back the other one.
That's actually a good point. Maybe we just play the Scrap Heap Scrounger and play Witch's Oven.
I like that.
Scrap Heap, getting rid of Midnight Reaper.
Well, so it's also worth mentioning you don't have to do that on your turn.
It is an instant speed effect, but I want to try to encourage them to target the Scrap Heap with it.
Okay. Okay. Make him misplay.
Exactly. Our opponents are actually in a pretty good position here. We need to draw a cat here in order to start doing some really good damage.
Oh, that was a fortunate note.
Yeah. So they get another trigger. They get another Skyclave Apparition. What do they target here? Witch's Oven. Do we want to sacrifice anything in response? No, not with Witch's Oven.
You can sacrifice the... Oh, not with the oven. No.
Yeah.
It is worth noting you can sacrifice the Scrounger this turn and get it back.
Yeah. Getting rid of the Dreadhorde Butcher.
And then try and get something... What is good here?
Mayhem Devil.
Devil wouldn't be bad.
Alright, so Cauldron Familiar is half of the formula. They don't have any lifelink right now, at least.
Can they... You can't unearth the Ghost Rider now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we cannot. I like playing Cauldron Familiar here.
I think I also like playing it. We just hope we get an oven or a Mayhem Devil or something.
Is it worth attacking with both of our creatures here?
I don't think it is.
Well, the thing is, they'll just get the Mire Triton back, but it's a 4/4.
Yeah.
Godfarer's Gift is such a weird card to play around. It's also not something that you should be expecting to play in this format.
It's also one of the only decks that uses their graveyard that can also play Grafdigger's Cage.
I'm gonna crack the Scrounger in response. I'm gonna end up exiling the Wood Strider. I'm just...
rough.
That's a 7.
It might be worth it. They don't have lifelink.
Yeah, I like leaving that on top. It's very close. We're in a losing position now because they're able to make a lot of 4/4s that have a lot of really good powerful effects.
Except they don't have any more fuel.
Yeah. But I mean, they have 2 4/4s on the battlefield already, which are outpowering all of our creatures. So Mayhem Devil goes straight onto the battlefield. Woe Strider is now representing 3 points of damage. I don't think we attack here.
I think you can block with the Familiar and then just sacrifice it before damage. Oh my goodness.
I was really lucky there. Maybe we sacrifice the Familiar and the Devil in response to kill it, so that way we get a 3/3 right off the bat. No, then the Godfarer's Gift will give it.
Well, so you can... Oh no, that doesn't work.
I think we just have to sacrifice the Devil to it, to the Woe Strider and hope to draw something else.
Yep.
We seem to play some of the strangest decks whenever we play a lot. YouTube.
It's not good enough.
Yeah. I don't even know what our out is here.
I don't think it would be a single out. I think we would need to draw a Braid into... I am not entirely sure.
Woe Strider isn't terrible. That's a free blocker. I wish we still had Chandra in here now, because the minus being able to kill a 4/4 would be sweet. But we took it out because of the fact that we're trying to be the aggressor in this matchup. I think a second Godfarer's Gift on the field doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, why can they bring that back? But I guess Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop refurbish.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually cast.
It's...
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to hold on to that. We're going to hold on to that so that way Grafdigger's Cage, we can kill Grafdigger's Cage and try to get them with a Witch's Up in combo.
We're still in this?
Yeah, we're actually in a good position at this point. Well, not a good position, but this is one of our primary outs. If we draw a Witch's Oven, we are in a very powerful position, because then we can start blocking with Cauldron Familiar. Do we kill the cage now? Or do we hold on to it until we...
sacrifice the goat first.
Okay, I like that, I like that.
Maybe? Yeah, because
we're at 12.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's kill the Grafdigger's Cage now. Because the Midnight Reaper will be able to allow us to recur the Scrounger now. Or, I mean, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I just passed turn here.
Yeah, I agree.
You gotta do it.
Gotta get at least 1 point of value out of it. We don't want that. Do we have a creature in the graveyard? Yeah, we have the Man Devil. Cool.
Maybe just sacrifice the cat here.
To the Woe Strider?
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, they get a 4. That's actually not...
That seems unwise.
Yeah, that's not something we're super worried about. Like, them going to 4 is actually pretty good for us.
If we draw another Mayhem Devil, we just kill them.
Yeah.
Take 2.
Take 4. Take. I don't even know what we're taking anymore, but I'm taking whatever it is, as long as it's not the 4 force coming at us. Do we just crack one more Woe Strider just to get the Mayhem Devil? Because technically that would be... No, it wouldn't be lethal. Yeah, we still need one more. Yeah, I think we just have to hope to draw it here. Or we could get a Braid. A Braid kills Karnos. On their second mate.
So you kill that. They have 3 blockers. We attack for 12. Huh.
Oh, they go to 1. You're right. We don't have any food tokens, though, so we can't rebuy our Cauldron Familiar.
Huh. So I think it would entirely bank on whether or not we could hit a Woe Strider. I'm sorry, not a Woe Strider, a Mayhem Devil.
A Mayhem Devil or a Cauldron. Because if we attack with
we
everything...
just need 1 damage, yeah. Although, Oven also does it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
we have
so-
Ovens and we have Mayhem Devils.
I think the only way to win this game right now is to abrade that current attack.
Yeah, I think you're correct. We really need to try to win this turn. Alright, guys. This is why you're subscribed. For the plays.
For the plays.
Whatever goes through is the only creature that is going to be not sacrificed. Alright. So this Woe Strider sacrifices... Wait.
You can just sacrifice the Woe Strider first? Yeah, the Woe Strider first.
Sacrifice the Woe Strider to... That's not it. And then this Woe Strider sacrifices this Mid-Run Night Reaper?
Mm-hmm, that's it.
Alright, guys. Is this it? Dreadhorde Butcher. That's it!
Yeah, we just have to win with that. Wait, we don't have anything to sacrifice with it, do we?
No, we don't. Oh, but if they attack into it, we win.
But there's going to be a Kurnos.
Alright, let's go to damage.
Maybe you just play it anyway.
I think we play it anyway.
Blood Drip Tap.
I mean, they have lethal, right? We had 3 possible looks there at a win condition, and we just didn't get one.
I was really hoping.
Okay.
Really hoping they wouldn't attack. Nothing that's first strike, right?
Nope.
Well, I mean, like, we didn't win this game, but I felt like it was very close and very intense.
Yeah, so if you're trying to look for a deck that has access to a lot of different options, like, it's a deck that is very versatile. There's always something that you can be doing, like, as you saw, like, we had an option to win there.
It's like chess, there are a lot of lines no matter what you're doing. Like, even when you lose, you are learning more about the deck.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a deck that definitely rewards both skill and understanding of the deck. So I highly suggest trying to get into this deck if you're more of a more knowledgeable Magic player. If you're a newer player, this would be kind of difficult to start to get into the format with. But it definitely rewards understanding of both the format and the deck itself. Being able to understand that, as he was saying a moment ago, we win if we draw X, Y, or Z. That is something that you really need to be able to understand. But until next week, we hope to hear from the comments as to what we did to misplay, because we probably were able to win somewhere there. You guys will be able to be like, oh, you could have just done this on turn 4 and you would have won. But go ahead and tell us what we did wrong in the comments. Hit that like button, it'll help us out a lot. Hit that subscribe button so you can make sure you can see our videos every single week. Until next week, keep it crispy.
Chips ahoy!